And welcome back to the Eckerö Linjen Junior Masters tournament here in Virtaala Curling Center, Åland Islands. Our next featured game is Team Virtaala from Finland versus Team Mattsson. Team Virtaala here playing with the red stones has the hammer for the first end, and Team Mattsson from Östersund's curling club is playing with the yellow stones. Team Virtaala opened up with the corner guard and then we tried to take out to the yellow stone on the top. Unfortunate miss here for Eckerö. Missed the take out completely. So let's see what is then the call from Virtaala for his next shot for his team. Seems to be a takeout, so trying to keep the center line open and use that then to use the hammer effectively or efficiently. This takeout overcurled a little bit, so Virtaala's team was probably trying to get a roll behind their own corner guard, but it rolled out a bit further, so now there's this yellow stone behind the corner guard, and let's see then Östersund, Team Mattsson is looking to play another come around behind that guard. Risky business when you start playing behind corner guards early in the end without hammer. So efficiently it's you basically commit then that you are going to make all the rest of your shots, because even one mistake will then open up a chance for the opponent to build a deuce or take at least 2 points. So there was this one miss, so Team Virtaala has now had the chance to come around. Seems to be curling a little bit more than they expected, so didn't quite make it, but still chance was there. Juuso Virtaala seems to be, based on these couple of shots that we've seen so far, seems to be used to a little bit straighter ice, I would assume, because many of the shots have been curling quite much more than what he has been expecting. Mattsson now trying to come around the center guard that was left behind by Team Virtaala. Again, the stone is curling quite much. Can they get it by the guard? Yes, they can. Just drag it. Their beautiful execution by Team Mattsson. Staying on the top house, which is always a good thing. Beautiful shot by Team Virtaala, removing the guard or opening up the guard as they want it, and always also got one of the yellows away and still left there one of their own to the house partially covered behind the guard. So absolutely super shot by the Joensuu team. Red stone in the house, but it overcurls a little bit and catches the first one, and let's see if it remains in the house or stays, and it doesn't. So now the end has turned out a little bit basically upside down compared to what it was in the beginning. But again, the stone curled more than Team Virtaala expected and overcurled, and Team Virtaala was not able to save their own shooter in the house. So Team Mattsson was sweeping heavy for hard for the line, but they managed to keep it on the hold the line so that the shooter remains in the house. So now Virtaala is facing two yellow stones before his two last stones. So this is the first one now. Quite big, heavy, big right takeout coming here. Let's see if they are able to save the shooter. No, they are not. So again, curling more than the guys expected and losing the shooter. Nice draw by Team Mattsson. Forces now Team Virtaala to take a single point or to attempt it. So Virtaala outs to play a draw. So Virtaala's last stone in this first end, a draw against 2. Looks quite heavy, so they definitely need now the backing there, so they should now be very careful that it doesn't over curl and realize it way too late that they need the backing over there. So huge mistake now by Team Virtaala, and they end up giving up 2. So in these kind of situations, the team must always make sure that they communicate the weight early enough to the skip that if the stone is too heavy and it needs that backing from the stone, it needs to be communicated early enough to the skip so that the skip can then change the line calls to be like a takeout or freeze or a tap back. Now they realized it way too late that it's too heavy. It's not just a simple draw, but they need to use that stone behind it. It was too late to try to change the shot to that anymore because the stone was already curling too much. So big steal of 2 for the Swedish team from the first. Team Mattsson opens up this second end by playing to the house, and Virtaala then started to follow the simple game and played a takeout with the first one, but now changes the tactics for this end a little bit by changing to a draw. It's a bit heavy though. Virtaala could have simply ignored the Yellowstone and play another corner guard, or play a corner guard if he would have liked to. That would have been an option. Another option would have obviously to continue with the takeouts, what he did with the first one. So let's see what his call is now when the Swedish team is playing another other stone to the house. Okay, now he opts to keep things simple and tries to clean up things a little bit to avoid a mess in the later stages of this second end. Finnish team continues to struggle a bit with the ice. The amount of curl that we have here in Vienna Curling Center. Really need to have a clean release and enough rotation in the stone if you want to control it. So the previous takeout was over curling again with barely nothing rotation, so it just rotated like 1/4 of a round. Tommy was able to save the shooter. So lying there on top 8. Team Mattsson just tries to keep things simple and keep the pressure that the Finnish team needs to play against 2 yellow stones with their all of their shots. So pretty much forcing the Finnish team just to take a single here. Just remains or manages to avoid the jam over there and keeps their own shooter in the 12-foot circle. Virtaala calling now for a freeze instead of the takeout. Line looks quite good. Curling actually a little bit, but let's see what is the weight. And now it's just perfect. Just perfect execution from the whole team. Very well played. So now let's see what is the heavyweight takeout from Team Mattsson. I would assume and expect that it's going to be a pistol. I've seen this team playing earlier, but given the fact that the team is from Sweden, I would assume that they are playing a quite heavyweight takeouts, this team as well, like all other Swedish teams that I've ever seen playing. Red one. So now the Finnish team has an opportunity to play a second stone to the house and lie 2. So 3 stones remaining in this second end. Virtaala has now an important shot to attempt to get the second stone to the rings. Bit heavy draw again by Virtaala, just like in the first end. Big mistake over there, and now means that Juuso needs to then most probably play the last stone again, multiple counters, just like in the first end. Sweeping there, but the team is able to save the shooter. So now Juuso Virtaala needs to draw against 3 counters. So as mentioned in the previous end, in these kind of shots where you are drawing against stones which are in the back of the rings, it's really super important that the sweepers are communicating the line, the weight for the skip, so that the skip knows that what should be attempted. So again, this looks heavy. Do we have now then a stone where we came back? Just manages to make it, but is it better than the yellow one? The team nearly makes the same mistake as in the previous one, that they didn't sweep it for the line, but were just hoping that it stops, and then when it didn't, it overcurled and missed the back stone over there. And what is the result for this now? That is it one for yellow? Seems so that it's still of one more for the team Mattsson from Sweden. So effectively the exact same mistake in the second end by team Virtaala as in the first one. Both times it would have been with better communication, the team would have been able to score the points and sweep it to the stone in the back house. But those decisions just need to be made earlier and not just like when it's already too late. Team Mattsson's first stone, yellow stone, ended up being a corner guard, and Virtaala immediately tried to take advantage of that corner guard and draw behind it, but the stone is almost completely visible, not just but almost. And Team Mattsson leading by 3-0 at the moment. Tries to then keep things simple and play a takeout to that red stone. So taking a huge amount of ice for this draw. Team Mattsson was sweeping very hard for the line, but just managed to get by the guard and ended up playing a beautiful roll behind the corner guard. behind the corner guard, freezing to the yellow stone on the tee line. Again, the stone is curling a huge amount of because of the rotation, so now it actually did switch the rotation, so the guys from Finland really need to improve their releases going to the next games if they want to control the stones. A big mistake from Team Mattsson. Missed the red completely. A little bit. It covers about half of the red stone, so not a bad shot at all. So the third from Team Mattsson, Mattsson now playing a soft takeout. They're able to play with this soft controlled weight and save their own shooter, so beauty by Mattsson. A really nice shot. Team Virtaala has a good opportunity to play a hit and roll behind those two the red and yellow ones. There is a part through them, but still there's a lot of good places where you can roll. Just need to make sure that the stone doesn't overcurl. This time it's just a direct nose hit. So now the opportunity to play that hit and roll goes to Team Mattsson. Mattsson is also not able to play the hit and roll, but they were able to save their shooter. So there's a big difference now if we compare these two teams. Team Mattsson is almost always saving their own shooter in the rings, whereas Team Virtaala has been struggling with the amount of curl that we have here in Vienna Curling Center. So again, there are now two yellow stones at the house. Let's now see if Team Virtaala is able to drag this to the house, but they are not. So it's like something like 50 centimeters from the house. So line was good, but then the weight was a little bit. So the amount of curl also impacts how the stone is behaving in terms of how far does it go. So when the stone doesn't have when it only has a minimum amount of curl, like in this previous shot, it can die quite quickly. So it's like the stone would have a handbrake on. So you really need to, when playing on good competition ice like this, you really need to have a decent amount of curl in the stones if you want to control them. Otherwise they can be very unpredictable. We have to remember that this is the first tournament for this team ever outside of Finland, so it's always a good learning experience for the team, so they will most probably learn quite much from this ice, and I'm at least expecting that they will get it already during this game, and then in the next game they will most probably appear much stronger and be able to control the stones much better when they get the ice, and how the stones behave on when they are scratched to be aggressive like they are now here, like competition level stones. Virtaala's draw over curls a wee bit and crashes to the second guard. Would have probably been a bit too light as well, but then struggling with the amount of ice. Team Mattsson are discussing that what would be the best place to position their last stone before Juuso Virtaala's hammer. So it looks like they're going to play another draw there behind the red one, eliminating the opportunity for Juuso Virtaala to play a run back with their own again to the yellow sitting in the house or in the bottom. Weight looks quite good, but just a little bit too short and crashes to the red guard, but still not a bad shot. Juuso Virtaala only basically has the tap back and the run back, so it's then a question that do you want to play with a bigger weight, try to nose the yellow one in the bottom, or do you want to play a tap back with a softer weight. It looks like that they're going to play the tap back. Looks like that this stone is going to overcurl. Is it? Yes, it is. Okay, so it managed to draw there, and it actually is the second stone, so that was a close one. Not probably what the guys intended to do, but were able to draw just the second shot, so a steal of 1 for the team Mattsson playing with the yellow stones. Now Team Virtaala was able to save their shooters. The stone was still over curling a bit, but now they were able to catch it thick enough so that own red remains in the house. So very important shot by Team Virtaala. Team Mattsson now playing a draw around the center guard that we have over there. Got room quite much, so it remains completely visible, but not an easy one to play a role behind the guard. So let's see what is then Eero's execution here. I'm sorry, it's not Eero, it's Jaakko who is now direct nose hit, but manages to save the shooter, which is always a good thing. Removes one of the yellows, and the other one remains on back 8. But this is now putting pressure to Team Mattsson that they absolutely need to save their own shooter, because otherwise it will be immediately a chance for the Finnish team to score 2 points. And the Swedish team now need to be very careful so that they don't jam that red one to their own in the back 8. So not a bad situation for the Finnish team at all. Is the jam which was there, so now the Finnish team is now lying 2. Or sorry, not lying 2. It's the yellow one is the second shot at the moment. But now let's see if the Finnish team is able to remove that yellow one without jamming it to their own. Yes, they are able to remove it, but are not able to save their own. So the Finnish team is now line 2. And Team Mattsson is now looking to remove the open one and roll to the center behind the guard. Takeout is okay, but the stone doesn't roll. So Virtaala is now asking for a second stone to be drawn to the house, to the open side of it. Not quite sure why they don't want to play another one behind the guard. The white looks quite okay, so it's on back 8, even back 12, but remains as the second shot, so a beauty. It's not at all bad that it's behind the tee line, because now Team Mattsson is not able to use it for hit and roll. So Team Mattsson now needs to draw, and if they're not able to make it perfectly, then it might end up opening an opportunity for the Finnish team to score a big end here. So now it's a lot of pressure for Team Mattsson for this shot. Let's see how well they are able to execute it. Release is really beautiful, and the stone has very nice amount of rotation and is coming back in a very controlled fashion all the way there. But is it a little bit heavy? It looks that it is actually a bit heavy, so yes, so it goes through and is not remaining at all in the house. So now Virtaala has an opportunity to get one more stone to the house. Tommi Eskonen was able to draw, but it's just a biter on the top 12, so it's only 4th stone at the moment. But let's see now how the team Mattsson is now able to draw there. So basically he has to make this shot now, because otherwise Team Virtaala can remove that one yellow from the biter on the 12 foot and lie 4. So this is now an absolute must have. Gotta make it kind of a shot for the Team Mattsson. Weight was quite good, but it's completely visible, so Juuso Virtaala has now the opportunity to remove it, and with the correct weight they can even save their own shooter and allow one more. So let's see how the young Finn is able to execute this important shot, which is the 7th red stone in this end, so 3 stones remaining in this end here. They are able to get it by the guard, but are they able to avoid the jam? Yes, they are. So super important shot for Juuso Virtaala. So a lot of pressure now for the team Mattsson playing with the yellow stones here. So they're now facing 3 red stones, and there is then even this 4th one, but the one yellow biter there on the left on the screen is better than the 4th red stone, which is on the top rings or top 12 biting the house. So now Team Mattsson is looking to play a takeout. Another option for them would have been just play an open draw from the left and freeze to the red one, which is on the back 8, because with that kind of a freeze they would effectively play a quadruple takeout and eliminate all 4 stones, but seems that they are more comfortable now with trying to play a double takeout. Let's see what they're able to do with this one now. Just one they were able to move, but only one. So now if Juuso is able to remove that yellow one, then they are able and save that shooter. It's then going to be a big end of 4 for the Finnish team. So let's see how they are able to execute this one. Important shot for Team Virtaala to get back to this game. It is miss, so only 2 points for the Finnish team. So unfortunate miss for Juuso, but well played end for the young Finns here in the fourth end of Eckerö Linjen Junior Masters. So we're seeing a little bit alternative tactics here in the fifth end, as the first stone of Team Virtaala curls to be a corner guard without hammer. So Team Mattsson is Team Mattsson is immediately taking advantage of it. They most probably didn't try that corner guard, but it ended up again just curling way much more than what the Finnish team was expecting. So it's the amount of rotation that the Finnish team is continuing to struggle with. Unfortunate miss here from the Finnish team. So a lot of pressure now by Team Mattsson here in the fifth end. They are playing with the hammer, and they have already now won stone almost completely buried behind the guards. So Team Mattsson is now playing another draw to the opposite side of the house, but end up a bit short, so it remains as the guard over there. And Juuso Virtaala now, excuse me, Juuso Virtaala now calling for a takeout again from that yellow stone. This one is going to crash to the guard, but will it remain in the house? Yes, it will. So it rolls to the top 12. And the skip of Team Mattsson wants to remove that red stone from the control zone and roll their own shooter in front of that yellow stone, which is on top 8-foot circle. Not a bad call at all, I like it. The stone is just not curling enough, or is it? No, it is not. So doesn't roll exactly where they wanted it to, but still on the top 12, so not a bad stone at all in the control zone. So if Juuso is now playing a hit to the yellow stone, which is deeper on the house, which they are now doing, Team Mattsson has a very good stone on the top 12 on the control zone, and they can then later on use it for different purposes. Now it seems that Finnish team is able to get a nice hit and roll, so a beautiful shot from Tommi Eskonen. Tommi is, in addition to curling, he is passionate tennis player and actually one of the best tennis players in Finland of his age. So a multi-talent, just like the other guys from the Finnish team as well. Juuso is playing basketball, and the other players of the team have also a lot of background in different sports. And a beautiful run back by Team Mattsson. So this was exactly what I was meaning before when I was saying that they have a good stone on the top 12 on the control zone, which they can use for many different purposes. And now immediately when Team Virtaala was able to play that role, the Swedish team was able to play that run back with their own and managed to execute that very nicely. There are no stones in the house at the moment, so Team Virtaala is opting up to play a come around behind the guard. Hard sweeping there for line again. The stone is curling a lot because of the small amount of rotation that the team is using. And it is crashing to the guard. The weight would have been just perfect, but the amount of rotation made it very difficult for them to control the amount of curl. So, unfortunately for them, they were crashing the guard. Team Mattsson is apparently trying to play a split here. They're coming with a little bit more weight than just a normal draw, and try to split the front guard to the house, but it appears that it's going to be a direct tap back. And it is actually just a wee bit too heavy and taps it all the way through the back line. So now the Finnish team has an opportunity to try to play a draw behind the guards. So let's see what is now the draw weight for Juuso Virtaala, if he has found it for this important shot. The line is tight again, so it is over curling and it is going to crash to the yellow one. And unfortunately for the Finnish team, it actually taps it to the top 12. So unfortunate miss for the Finnish team, and again suffering from the amount of curl caused by the low amount of rotation in the stone. Team Mattsson now trying to play another stone to the house. Very hard line for them as well. And they are going to crash the red stone, but end up being a guard for their own stone, so not a total disaster like it was for the Finnish team earlier. So now Juuso Virtaala, the skip of the Finnish team, is most probably going to play a tap back with their own red stones and try to then have a good stone behind the guards before the last yellow stone of this fifth end. Juuso Virtaala's last stone now on its way. The weight looks quite good, and there is also a decent amount of rotation in the stone, so it's behaving much more controlled than the earlier ones, but still over curls a little bit, and the weight is not just enough. So there are now 2 biters for the Finnish teams, but the yellow stone is still better than those 2 Finnish red stones. So now Team Mattsson from Sweden, Östersund, have an opportunity to somehow play another yellow to the house. So there's a lot of opportunities and different ways how to do that. So the score is now, as you can see from the scoreboard, it's 4-2 for the Swedish team before this shot, and at least one more coming up for the yellow team, unless they completely miss this shot and manage to tap the finish stone to the house. So here we go, last stone of the fifth end in this game between Team Mattsson and Team Virtaala. Team Mattsson trying to play a tap back for a second point here. And they are not able to do it, so it's only a score of 1 for the yellow team here, so it's going to be 5-2 after 5 ends of play. So we're now in the sixth end here. Team Mattsson playing a center guard with their first one, and Team Virtaala trying to come around it. And now it looks quite nice. So comes just behind the T line, so 50 centimeters slower or shorter would have been an optimal. So Team Mattsson is not trying to play the exact same shot and freeze to the red stone that the Finnish team just played. Weight looks good, so the sweepers are just cleaning it, and now they start to sweep. So very nice controlled controlled stone by team Mattsson, and they managed to play the stone to just to the middle or to the bottom. Now Eckerö Linjen here with his second stone. And that stone is going to overcurl badly. So Eckerö's second stone crashes to the middle or center line guard. And Team Mattsson now tries to replace that center line guard with a new one. Actually, I think that the call was to get it to the top 12. Playing to the center line on the top 12 is a little bit a risky call, because that gives the Finnish team an opportunity to play a role behind the corner guards and leave the shot stone in the center line completely visible. But now it actually comes to a much safer place from the Swedish team's point of view, so that it's not in the house. So now if Team Virtaala is playing a takeout from that yellow stone, it will not remain in the house. So this is, in my opinion, this is much safer and better place and positioning for the guard than on the top 12. Super shot from Jaakko Hokkanen, who is just playing his first season. So very talented young athlete who just started curling a couple of months ago. So has been developing quite quickly, and is definitely going to have many successful years in front of him. The Finnish team now manages to get some separation to the stones in the house, so their own red stone is now behind the guard, and red stone in front of the house is on the control zone and is completely visible, so you can definitely use that for run back purposes. Team Mattsson plays a super shot through the port and plays another draw there. So now I believe that the run back is the only option that Team Virtaala has. But if they make this double, it is well possible that they are able to get rid of both the yellows. However, there is a jam possibility there to their own red, and obviously you also need to make that run back perfectly if you want to do it, but it's not looking bad. It's actually looking very good. Gets rid of one of the yellows, and then the red one stays on the rings. So building up pressure again here. Team Mattsson tries to get a second stone to the house, if I'm not mistaken. Or are they just going to guard? Well, it is, at least, nevertheless, what they are trying to, it is going to be a guard. And actually it's going to be a perfect guard because it is locked to the red stone so that the red stone cannot be used for run back. So now Team Virtaala just must open that guard stuff and get some granite moving here. They are able to get rid of 2 guards, but the front stones are still locked, so that the yellow one, the shot stone, is very well covered by those 2. There is this third guard on the right-hand side of the screen, which can be used for run back. So it's still quite important for Team Mattsson to get another counter to the house if they don't want to take the risk and give an opportunity for Team Virtaala to score 3 points here. It's always quite risky business if you're playing without hammer and you are only guarding your single point against multiple counters from the opposite, like what Team Mattsson is right now doing. So if I understood the call correctly, they are just playing yet another guard. I don't necessarily see that what this third guard is going to, how it's going to improve their situation, because there are already 2 guards which are locked to each other. So now Juuso would have an opportunity to run back with that red stone and ignore these 3 guards on the center line. And if that would have been, if that shot would be successful, then Finland or Juuso Virtaala would be line 3. Virtaala is, however, opening up those center guards, and they get this yellow one opened. Team Mattsson is now, it's a must make shot here. That you really need to make this guard now if you want to stay in this end, because there are already 2 counters not counters, but 2 shot stones in the house for the red team, Team Virtaala. So is this going to be long enough, or are they able to drag it over the hog line? It's there, and it is actually too short. So now there is a big opportunity for Juuso Virtaala to play a takeout to that yellow stone and lie 3, which would be massive after how the end has been evolving. So a big learning experience now for the Swedish team, to probably what not to do when you're only defending 1 stone against multiple counters of the opposite team without hammer. Obviously Juuso Virtaala now needs to make this shot, but Let's see if he's able to do it. Yes, he is, and he is also able to stay in the rings. So perfect super shot from the Finnish team. And now tremendous pressure for the Swedish team with their last stone in the sixth end. So the scoreboard is at the moment it's 5-2 for the Swedish team playing with the Yellowstones. Team Mattsson now trying to apparently play a double takeout or then alternative a hit and roll or even both. But it's going to be a hit and roll, and they roll to lie the shot stone. So a super shot from the skip of Team Mattsson, compensating that previous mistake what they did. However, the Yellowstone is, with correct weight, it is possible to still tap it back if you play like a back line or so, just through kind of a weight here. But let's see how it is. It's again a little bit soft release from the Finnish team, so it is most probably going to crash to the guards. Yes, it is. The weight would have been good, but they crash again to the guards, and it's a steal of one for Team Mattsson. Big pressure and big opportunity for the Finnish team, but a super shot with Team Mattsson's last stone turned the end upside down. After that big mistake, what they did with their second last shot. So it's now 6-2 after 6 ends of play. Lots of stones in play in this 7th end, so let's see which team is able to get to the house behind the guards the first. Now an opportunity for the Finnish team Virtaala. Line looks quite good, or super good at the moment. But it overcurls to the guard, and yet another guard over there, so a little bit misjudged weight there. Given the sweeping a little bit, or if they would have started the sweeping a little bit earlier, they would have been able to drag the stone to the house. So already 6 guards after 8 stones. So the front ends of both teams have been struggling with the guards quite much in this end. But now we have a stone in the house, so Markusson from team Mattsson is able to make the shot and taps one of their own to the back 8 foot. And team Virtaala now decides to open up things a little bit. Let's see how much of granite they're able to move. 1 yellow at least, and then they're tapping one of the red guards to the far away from the center line. Not a bad outcome from Finnish team's point of view, because now both teams on the center line are open, so they can be basically used for run back because they are not locked with each other. Team Mattsson is trying to come around, or alternatively playing a tap back. So let's see if there's enough weight for the tap. No, there is not. So it touches first the red one. And now Team Virtaala is trying to play that tap back, and you can see the amount of ice that the Finnish team needs to take for these tap backs because of the low amount of rotation that they are using. So the stone is curling huge amounts and overcurls once more. Now Team Mattsson has a very good opportunity to tap their own stone to the rings. So basically they can hit to the first red stone wherever, and it will guaranteed tap one of the yellows to the house, provided that there is enough weight, or that the weight is okay. So it's this first red one, which we can see there, is completely or perfectly frozen to the second yellow. So there are 2 yellows in line, and then the red one. And the red and the first yellow are touching each other and perfectly lined up for this tap back. So should be an automatic tap back if the weight is good. heavy sweeping there. And they are able to tap it to the rings. It goes to the top 12. So at the moment, the situation in the house is that there are 2 yellow counters over there behind the guards, and a big mess from the Finnish team's point of view with these front guards over there. It looks like the Finnish team is trying to now clean up things before the last shot a little bit. So Juuso Virtaala playing a heavyweight takeout there. Is able to remove one of the yellow counters over there, but loses also the red ones. But the good news from Juuso Virtaala's team's point of view is that the red one is completely open now, so it is possible to tap it back or run it back. There are 3 other stones as front guards over there, so yellow, red, yellow. So it looks to me that the amount of ice is such that Team Mattsson is trying to play a tap back again instead of just a draw or come around behind the guards. And one tap back coming up with a just perfect weight. It goes to the tee line and is behind the guards. So very nice shot from the young Swede. The Virtaala's team basically doesn't have other options, in my opinion, than, or from my, as far as I can see, that than try to play a draw and tap it back a little bit. But it's a very difficult shot for Team Virtaala. So very nice shot from Team Mattsson with their last one. And again, the Finnish team is crashing to a guard, so it's a steal of 2 points. And that's enough for the Finnish, and we'll see the handshakes after 7 ends. So the final score is 8-2 for Team Mattsson from Östersund Curling Club. Congratulations for Team Mattsson. Next round, if I remember correctly, is at 3 o'clock. Let me double check this. So yes, the next round is at 3 o'clock Finnish time, 2 o'clock Central European time, and there our featured game is Trondheim Curling Club versus Team Åland. So thank you for joining us for this round 2, and welcome. Looking forward to see you all on the third round as well in 1 hour from now. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.